about the fact that Democrats have been labeling President Trump a to democracy for the better half of 10 years. Let's talk about how they have compared him to one of the worst mass in the history of the world.
All right, get ready, because CNN's Kaitlan Collins just walked headfirst into a disaster, and Karoline Leavitt is the one delivering the knockout punch.
The president was within his executive authority to do that. He is the executive of the executive branch, and therefore he has the power to fire anyone within the executive branch that he wishes.
This was supposed to be just another routine White House press briefing. But Kaitlan, she thought she had the ultimate gotcha moment. And oh, did it go south fast. She tried to trap Karoline with a leading question, expecting her to stumble. Instead, Karoline turned the tables, delivering a response so sharp that it left Kaitlan looking completely out of her depth. And the best part? This all unfolded live. No edits, no post-production spin, just pure, unfiltered reality. And let me tell you, CNN wanted this clip buried fast. The moment it hit the internet, viewers went off, roasting Kaitlan, dismantling CNN's credibility, and even questioning if she should still have a job after this. But don't just take my word for it. We're about to break it all down. Before we jump in, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe for more hard-hitting, no-filter analysis. Done? Great. Let's get started.
One, on the freeze in federal funding, who advised the president on the legality of telling government agencies that they don't have to spend money that was already appropriated by Congress?
Well, as the OMB memo states, this is certainly within the confines of the law. So White House counsel's office believes that this is within the president's power to do it, and therefore he's doing it.
Okay, so they disagree with lawmakers who say that they don't have the power to freeze this funding.
Again, I would point you to the language in the memo that clearly states this is within the law.
And all that happened on Friday night. The administration fired several inspectors general without giving Congress the 30-day legally required notification that they were being fired. I think only 2 were left at DHS and the DOJ. And then yesterday we saw several prosecutors, I believe 12, fired from the Justice Department who worked on the investigations into the president. As you know, they are career prosecutors, therefore they are afforded civil service protections. How is the administration deciding which laws to follow and which ones to ignore?
So it is the belief of this White House and the White House counsel's office that the president was within his executive authority to do that. He is the executive of the executive branch, and therefore he has the power to fire anyone within the executive branch that he wishes to. There's also a case that went before the Supreme Court in 2020, Scala Law LLC versus the Customs, Bureau Protection. I would advise you to look at that case, and that's the legality that this White House is resting on.
So you're confident that if they bring lawsuits against you, those prosecutors who were fired, that they will succeed?
We will win in court,
and
yes.
Did he personally direct this, given they worked on the classified documents investigation and the election interference investigation?
This was a memo that went out by the Presidential Personnel Office, and the president is the leader of this White House, so yes. Yes, it came from him.
Now, let's break this down. Kaitlan Collins, who somehow still believes she can go head-to-head with conservatives, thought she could trap Karoline Leavitt with a scripted, smugly delivered attack. Karoline doesn't hesitate. She fires back instantly, hitting Kaitlan with undeniable and brutal facts.
The fact that Democrats have been labeling President Trump a to democracy for the better half of 10 years. Let's talk about how they have compared him to one of the worst mass in the history of the world, and that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden weaponized the court system and the justice system in this country against Donald Trump in an attempt to imprison him. He sat through a courthouse for 7 weeks this past year, and the Democrats were hoping he would go to jail for it. That is real political that has led to 2 heinous attempts on President Trump's life that, by the grace of God, he was able to escape, and he is here with us today. So yes, President Trump knows a little bit about political because he's experienced it himself. And talking about the tragic realities of war that Liz Cheney and her father Dick Cheney have got this country into is not political. It's talking about the reality of the foreign conflicts that the Washington, D.C. establishment have sold out young Americans to for decades.
And just like that, Kaitlan Collins is stunned. The press room? Completely silent. At this point, even she knows she's been wrecked. Karoline lets out a little laugh. Because honestly, it was way too easy. You could see the panic in Kaitlan's face. She never expected this level of receipts.
Please, his opponents are saying to this very day the same rhetoric that led to those 2 attempts. The second attempted on President Trump's life echoed the sentiment that President Trump is a democracy. And if you're a deranged lunatic and you're mentally ill, you will believe that lie, and yes, you will take political like we have seen in 2 instances against President Trump. Tim Walz and Kamala Harris said that everyone who showed up to President Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden was a That's despicable, dangerous, divisive rhetoric that is spewed by the Democrat Party every single day. And I am so sick and tired of the media pointing the finger at Donald Trump and saying that he is sowing division in this country. He is not. The media is for pushing hoaxes like the one that you all pushed today, and the Democrat Party is for pushing lies about him. But the good news is Americans don't buy it. And that's why today President Trump is more popular than he has been since 2016.
The internet is losing its mind. Hashtags like hashtag CNXposed and hashtag fake news are trending within minutes. CNN is in full-blown meltdown mode. They know this looks bad, really bad. And if you thought it couldn't get any worse for Kaitlan, well, think again.
Because there is a lot of reporting out there that is putting the onus on this White House for the increased cost of eggs. I would like to point out to each and every one of you that in 2024, when Joe Biden was in the Oval Office, or upstairs in the residence sleeping, I'm not so sure, egg prices increased 65% in this country. We also have seen the cost of everything, not just eggs. Bacon, groceries, gasoline have increased because of the inflationary policies of the last administration. As far as the egg shortage, what's also contributing to that is that the Biden administration and the Department of Agriculture directed the mass killing of more than 100 million chickens, which has led to a lack of chicken supply in this country, therefore a lack of egg supply, which is leading to the shortage. So I will leave you with this point. This is an example of why it's so incredibly important that the Senate moves swiftly to confirm all of President Trump's nominees, including his nominee for the United States Department of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, who is already speaking with Kevin Hassett, who's leading the economic team here at the White House, on how we can address the egg shortage in this country. As for costs, I laid out the plethora of ways that President Trump has addressed saving costs for the American people over the past week. He looks forward to continuing to doing that.
CNN is panicking. Kaitlan, completely humiliated. And Karoline, more respected than ever. All right, now it's your turn. Did Karoline just deliver the biggest takedown of the year? Drop a comment below and don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss another brutal takedown. Thanks for watching. See you next time.